You're trying to find a cheap rookie running back that could go blast off this year so you can win your league, so you can be dominant week in, week out, especially in the fantasy playoffs. Today, we're going to be looking at rookie running back Kaleb Johnson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly to see whether or not you need them for your fantasy football team. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing these deep dives every single day on your favorite players. We're doing player rankings. We're doing draft strategies. On top of that, we're going to help you set your lineups all season long and find gems off the waiver wire. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. Do not disappoint Ric Flair. But Kaleb Johnson is a big-time prospect. One of the top running backs in college football last year. Killed it at Iowa. And is a guy that many are watching throughout the NFL draft, with it being a super deep running back class. Some people had him as the RB1, RB2 in this year's class. Some people had him like RB6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in this year's class. He was all over the place. However, this is a running back prospect with a lot of talent. If you put him in last year's draft, he would have been the first running back selected, the first running back off the board. He was not highly recruited out of high school. 3-star prospect, just 17 offers on 24/7 Sports. Was going to go to Cal, but switched it up to Iowa. Didn't even get a scouting report for 24/7 Sports, but we had good size, and we hit it big during our freshman season with 779 yards and 6 touchdowns. Then we got hurt in 2023. The running back that took over while he was out did well, but had to transfer out because he knew it was Kaleb Johnson's job. And then he put the stamp on things in 2024 last year. 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, caught 22 balls. And he was one of the most electric running backs in all college football, one of the most productive. You're looking at what he did in the passing game. The numbers aren't exciting, but what you want to look at is yards after the catch per reception. 11.9, 10.3. You get this guy the ball in space, he's going to eat. That's the thing about that. You get him the ball in the flat, you check it down to him, and there's a little bit of space there. He's going to eat. 4.42 yards after contact per attempt last year. That's with a lot of touches. And then 2022 as a freshman, 3.34, averaging out to 3.68 on his career. This is a guy that's very efficient with the ball in his hands. 6.4 yards per carry last year and 5.2 as a freshman. This is a running back that's very efficient with the ball in his hands. He can also be very dominant. We got a couple 200-yard games in there, and we're taking over a lot of these matchups in the Big Ten, which is now technically the Big Ten Pac-12, whatever you want to call it. That's a joke. That's not funny. But he also got some yards on Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Nebraska, Maryland, Wisconsin. Just rolling, and you're looking at the targets in this offense. The leading pass catcher got 47 targets in this offense. Just 47. You got to remember, like, a good amount of targets for a wide receiver in college football is well over 100. And there's wide receivers out there that's racking up more than 100 catches. 47 targets is bad. He got 25 targets on the season, 4th in line on his team, and he was a wrecking ball in the run game. That being said, nobody was keen on these wide receivers. Nobody was keen on those guys. They were keen on only Kaleb Johnson in the run game last year. He still got it done. He still got it done. He was 3rd in line on the team in receptions even. Still got it done. That's something to pay attention to. And a lot of people will look at the counting stats and say he doesn't catch the ball. They don't throw the ball. They don't throw the ball. 47 targets to your leading wide receiver. They don't throw the ball. Also, pass protection. 62 pass block reps on his career. Most running backs being drafted in his area, the 2nd round, 1st round. Any running back that was getting a lot of workload like he did, well in the hundreds. 200-ish to 300-ish reps. Not many around 62. So you look at the grades, you're like they're low, but all it takes is like a couple bad pass blocking attempts, and it's going to lower that grade. But the one thing it does say that he is inexperienced, and that could prevent him from seeing the field as much, considering you got Jalen Warren there. He is inexperienced. That's what that number says. 62 pass blocking reps, just 38 last year. Because when he was out there, they were trying to get him out in the flats. They were trying to get him the ball any way they could. Running it, get him out in the flat. They're not going to keep him out in pass protection because he's their only weapon. But we get drafted in the 3rd round. This is a very deep and steep running back class when it comes to talent. 2 running backs going in the first round. Last year, there was none. Multiple running backs going in the second round. He's the one that fell to the third. A lot of people had him pegged going into the second round. If he was in last year's draft, he would have been the first running back selected. Really think about that draft. The first running back off the board in the second round only had 1 ACL. Trey Benson didn't have a 1,000-yard season to his name. Next was Blake Corum. He had a good season, but that was also a ramp-up year from a knee injury. On top of that, you're looking at Kaleb Johnson, who blew up, put a stamp on things in 2024. Has good tape to his name. He's also a different type of running back where teams may not want because he's a bigger running back that can take on a lot of touches, where some teams may be more interested into the satellite backs. But this is a guy built to carry a lot of work with good vision and get touch after touch after touch. 6'1", 224 pounds, long arms, decent size adjusted speed score. He's not going to win it by being super electric on the field. He's going to win it by getting touch after touch, rep after rep. Reps in the passing game, a lot of reps up the guts, being efficient in the open field. But the thing is, we're looking at this depth chart, and this depth chart is sneaky. Jaylen Warren ain't going to give up the job. He ain't going to give it away. He's very good in pass protection. He's the RB1 on this team right now. He's earned it. He's been solid. He's got good vision. He's not a super electric running back. He's not super sexy. He's a meat potatoes running back that gets it done. He's an all-purpose back. He can be used in the passing game as well. He's slick on his feet. He's got good contact balance. He's got good wiggle. And I already say he's nasty in pass protection. That's something that this team likes, and they've been working on with Kaleb Johnson a lot. Kenneth Gainwell, we'll get to him, but Jaylen Warren is okay in fantasy football. He's not super electric. He's cheap. He's not the greatest at fantasy football when it comes to the numbers. But for pure football, for a coach, this is a running back you're going to love. Like, you know how the play's going to be ran. He's going to take the proper steps out of the backfield. He's going to find a hole. He's going to be good at pass blocking and catch the ball out of the flat. This running back is a crusty coach's dream. And that's the thing about Jaylen Warren. He's going to be getting reps as long as he's healthy and on the field. He's going to be out there. Kenneth Gainwell, sneaky, because he's a good running back. He's not electric for fantasy. He's not that type of good, but he's a good running back. For a crusty coach, you're going to like Kenneth Gainwell. He's going to get the job done. He's a good RB2, 1B back on any team out there, getting some touches here and there. He's very dependable. If the starter goes down, you can bring him up. He's a good running back with good vision. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Bijan Robinson. But he's a good running back that can get it done. He's seeing touches with Kaleb Johnson and ahead of Kaleb Johnson in preseason. That's something you need to pay attention to. That's something that's not being brought up a lot. On top of that, like I said, he's a good running back prospect. Not the greatest, but good enough to get the job done. Not super great for fantasy, but enough to steal some workload, especially when you got crusty coaches, kind of like this Shane Gillis-looking character of Arthur Smith here. Because if you remember the Falcons with Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, the distribution of work, and then all of a sudden there's this random game where you're like, where's Bijan Robinson at? Where's Bijan Robinson at? Why is Tyler Algier getting all the touches? Why is this guy getting more touches today? Why are we not throwing it to our running backs today? It's kind of working, kind of not. This is all kind of weird, but I can't predict this workflow. And now we're seeing Kenny Gainwell getting some work in there in preseason. And now you go back to Arthur Smith, the history of that. Jaylen Warren's very dependable. Kaleb Johnson's got a lot of upside. That's something you need to know. That's something you need to think about going into the season. You also got to understand rookie ramp-ups. Not all running backs need it, because when a running back gets drafted very high in the first round, they're looking to use that running back. However, sometimes those first-round running backs need it. He's not a first-round running back, though. On top of that, you also got to realize when you draft him with this situation, there's more than likely going to be a ramp-up in place where there's going to be a first few weeks of the season or a good quadrant of it where it's going to be production, maybe even with the workload. It's Arthur Smith. It's the Steelers. So if you draft him, you have to know that going in. You can't be willing to drop him if that happens, because that's in the cards. That's in the realm of possibilities. It's not player good versus player bad. It's also how you play the game. And draft strategy matters, and it's not just like here RB, 0 RB. It's like knowing the probabilities, the range of outcomes of the player. And the range of outcomes of this player is he's very talented. You could see him like week 7 on forward, week 10 on forward, week 12 on forward, being a top 10 running back. That's what you're looking at. That's the talent you got with this guy. But on top of that, you can also see a long ramp-up period due to crusty coaches, due to talent on the roster, being good enough to use up work. That is what we're looking at right here. And with Devin H., and I brought this up with almost every running back video, I was getting hammered with questions by people whether or not they should be dropping him. It was just 2 weeks. It was just 2 weeks. That's why I'm here talking about this. Like, if you draft a player like this, you can't drop him during that time period. You just know, and you got to hold on tight. Because if they start blowing up, it's going to hurt you worse than sitting through another 5 weeks of dead points. And you're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They do not run a lot of plays naturally. They're very split past the run. They do not run a lot of plays. Bottom third in the league when it comes to plays ran. They're not a fast-paced team. And you're looking at Aaron Rodgers. All throughout his career, he's not a fast-paced quarterback. He's efficient. He's efficient getting it out, especially during his younger days. He likes to make sure things are set, make sure things are his way, and then the play gets ran and it dials off a few more seconds. Then after play after play after play, less plays are ran. The pace of play is slower. That means less opportunities for the players in the offense. Passing-wise, a lot of targets are going to go to DK Metcalf. He likes stability. So Jaylen Warren might be told to stay out there a little bit longer to pass block in certain situations. That's something to pay attention to. Hasn't been mentioned, but we do know and have a good feel of Aaron Rodgers and who he is and where Kaleb Johnson is going in drafts. And you're looking at him, he's fine if you understand the risks that I'm talking about. It's also the risks of not drafting him because he could be a top 10 running back somewhere down the line this season. It could be during the fantasy playoffs. However, you got a fork in the road. And the fork in the road is you got some veteran running backs and some good veteran wide receivers there. It's starting to thin out, though. Kaleb Johnson's looking at you in the face. If you're in a home league draft, considering he's a rookie and potentially sharing the workload, he's going to drop further than this, more than likely, unless running backs get jazzed up the board. Then you can catch him at a good discount and then take that all day. Like, if you're catching him in that Cam Scatterboo area or around that Jaylen Warren area, he's getting drafted ahead of Jaylen Warren, and the talent suggests this is a running back that could go off. Jaylen Warren's going to start off as the starter. Attrition hits. He starts getting work. Kaleb Johnson could go off. He's that type of running back. But these coaches are the coaches. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Jaylen Warren's Jaylen Warren. You got that in the probabilities. However, if the price drops, and he's in that Joe Mixon territory, he's past Tyrone Tracy, around Tyrone Tracy, depending on how you feel. The wide receivers are thinning out more. That's a great price tag for a talent like this. That's a good bet. Like, if you're catching him around 9 or around 10, around there in the rounds, go get it. Go get it. There's a lot of upside. He's got the upside of R.J. Harvey when given the opportunity, of Trevion Henderson. He's that type of back. If things go right in this offense may not go right. That's the thing about this. This offense could be ugly. That's one thing to think about. It could be a slow burn offense. They could win some games still, but it could be ugly for fantasy football. And drafters are realizing this. When you look at underdog ADP, it's best ball, remember? However, people are putting their money down. And once you get closer to the season, more redrafters are getting in. So best ballers will try to be the smartest guy at the bar, where redrafters will try to win. That being said, the stock is dropping and you're going to catch them cheaper. And typically home league drafts, when it comes to rookies, probably anywhere besides the Pittsburgh area, Iowa, maybe the Ohio area around Cincy, where people know Kaleb Johnson, he's probably going to go down the board a little bit more, and you're going to catch him at that discount. He's great as a lottery ticket player. He's a top-tier lottery ticket player at a cheaper price. And where he was going back in July and June, he was up there on the board. And we knew Jaylen Warren was going to get that work, and we knew Arthur Smith was crusty, and we know this team can be slow. But as the price gets cheaper, the more we should like him due to the talent. He has the potential to finish the year as a top 10 running back. That's the thing that you're looking at. he has potential to have a rough rookie ramp up due to the crustiness. You want the elite talent. This is elite talent. This is a top-tier talent. He fell to the 3rd round. It's just what happens to the Steelers. The universe works their way. They find these talents cheap in drafts. George Pickens went around later than what he should have. Roman Wilson, who's doing good in camp, went around later than what he should have. And same thing, bunch of players. They just keep catching these players on the cheap. They just keep doing it. This is another one. This is a deep running back class. He would have been the first running back selected in last year's draft. You just look at the profiles. He's a healthy running back, one of the top running backs in college football compared to last year. You didn't have a running back like this. This running back class, 20 deep of running backs that could help you in fantasy this year. Last year was like 4 or 5. I had to talk about Blake Corum every day. I hated it. I'm going to talk about Kaleb Johnson probably every day. As you guys start dropping him during his rookie ramp-up, he's sitting there on waivers. Again, rookie risk, rookie ramp-up. If you don't know about the rookie ramp-up, you're not worried about it, cool. If you can't handle that, you got FOMO, you're not patient, get away from him. Draft a veteran. That is my advice to you. Get away from him, draft a veteran if you can't be patient with him, if you don't understand the risk, because that could burn you, your lack of patience with a rookie with okay draft capital in your drafts, because you're going to drop him, somebody else is going to pick him up, then he's going to hit, and he's going to win the league for that person. You might as well get that player who's going to score for you that you feel good about. However, if you understand the risks, that you're going to have to wait, and he may not be good for you this year. However, there's a high probability, or a good probability, I wouldn't say high, but very good, that he could break out, be a top 10 running back, help you win your league, break through the threshold. He's going to be up there in ADP next year this time. You're going to be drafting him around 5-4 range next year because he's going to be getting more work in 2026. It's going to be projected. He's looking good in camp. He's not getting all the opportunities. Jalen Warren's still there. Keep that noted. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.